Good evening, you're watching Estuary News. I'm Hugh Riches. In the headlines tonight, a man murdered near Grimsby is named, an allotment project in Scunthorpe, and calling all pancake tossers in Beverley. And later in tonight's programme, I'll be talking to Sandra Simmons about reading champions in North Lincolnshire. A man who died near Grimsby yesterday has been named. 80-year-old James Fish, known as Eddie, was found at an address on Grimsby Road in Waltham yesterday morning. A murder investigation has been launched to establish the circumstances of the man's death. A 28-year-old woman arrested in connection with the incident remains in custody. In a separate inquiry, police want help in tracing this man seen in the following CCTV image. 76-year-old Brian Fitter was last seen on Town Hall Street in Grimsby on Friday. He was wearing a dark blue coat, blue shirt, grey pinstripe trousers and black shoes. A mental health unit in Scunthorpe has had a cash boost to get its allotment project off the ground. Great Oaks received £500 from the Help Mental Health charity shop on Mary Street in the town. Martin Jones, acting inpatient lead at the unit, says the allotment will help patients with their overall well-being.
One of the main aims is to improve the health and well-being of patients who are on the ward. Obviously, one of the key aims of in psychiatry at the moment is physical health, physical well-being, because it's no longer just about medication anymore. It's about getting patients fit, active, teaching them skills for in the community. And we actually had a donation of two donations, one of £2,000, one of £500. So we decided to put it towards allotments. Patients can get fresh air. They can use the produce as part of activities like healthy breakfast, making smoothies, vegetables, and just obviously one start off small and build it up. But if patients can be involved in this, it's better for their physical well-being, and it's getting them active. So while they're in hospital and they're unwell, they're distracted from some of the illness and some of the symptoms they're getting. They're interacting with staff, building up therapeutic relationships with staff. And it's also helping staff with their physical well-being as well, because we're trying to improve, there's a big drive at the moment to improve the health and well-being of staff as well. So it's working for both of us, really. So hopefully there'll be some benefits from it.
Plans for Phase 2 of a proposed new leisure park in Bridlington go on display next week. The Gypsy Race Park project is part of the town's regeneration plan. It'll see new walking and cycling routes, play areas and improved habitats for wildlife. The exhibition will be at Bridlington Spa on Tuesday the 6th of February from 1:30 p.m, when nobody with a job can go and see it. Lincoln's new International Bomber Command Centre was officially opened today. The £10 million project is the first in the world to provide a comprehensive history of the service of the command, which has roots in Lincolnshire, flight deck of England. The centre includes digitised memories and documents and cinema-style reenactments. It'll be open every day except Mondays. Apprentices who have moved to Hull from other countries have created an art installation. The Homelands project invited people who have come to live in the city to create a 6-foot by 4-foot work of art depicting flags from around the world. It recalls the journeys made by the apprentices. It's now on display at the Endeavour Learning and Skills Centre on Beverley Road.
Homelands Roots and Roots is to celebrate the cultural diversity that Hull lives in Hull. To raise around different experiences of people that lived in different countries, the travel and their experiences as they've moved and lived in Hull. So we've got from America, we've got Africa, we've got Europe. It was more to reflect on people's stories. So we worked with a group of learners from the ESOL classes and they was involved in the IT side of it, so there was learning numerous skills within working with the IT, and then we were sharing the stories in relation to when we was painting. It was a really good celebration, very inclusive, very informative, and the learners fully engaged with one another and shared stories around their homelands, expectations and their experiences.
A Hull councillor says the UK will continue to have good trade deals once the country leaves the EU. Councillor John Fareham, Conservative group leader on Hull City Council, says countries like Germany will still want to work with the UK.
The Germans are quite content to continue to trade. If you've only got to look at German banking and commerce to realise that they actually still want to trade with the UK. We are the fifth largest economy at the moment. We're the fifth, varies between 5 and 6, but we're still one of the biggest economies in the world. The idea that just because we've left the EU, anybody won't trade with us is just quite frankly risible. Because they traded with us before we were in the EU, they've traded with us during it, and they'll trade with us after it. We have money, they have goods. We have goods, they have money. That's how trade works.
And you can see that edition of Hot Topic at 8:30 this evening. Beverley Town Council is on the hunt for pancake tossers. It's part of the big Beverley pancake race, which is returning to the town after several years. One of the pancake umpires will be the Mayor of Beverley, Councillor Anne Willis, who explains more.
We want teams of 4 pancake tossers. They will run along, they'll toss the pancakes, and they'll do it like a relay race. So then they will toss their pancake onto the next person's pan. There will be bigger pans than these, and then head back. And there'll be 4 in a team. And we just want as many people as possible to form a team of 4. It was done many years ago, I understand, and then I don't know why they stopped it. We thought we'd give it a try. We'll do it on a small scale. We're just going to use tall gavel so we don't have to shut roads and things like that, and see how it goes. And if it goes well, obviously it will be repeated.
Basically, it's running up and down about an 80 metre dash. Fastest team gets the prize, and also there's a prize for the best dressed or the most novelty dress. So we're encouraging fancy dress, we're encouraging people to come out and join in the fun. We're doing a few activities for young people and children within the Lakeland store as well, with tossing pancakes. And we've got a mascot race as well. So we've got Bertie Beaver, and we've got Silly the Seagull, and various other mascots coming to join in the mascot race as well, which should be fun. We've got a small charge this year, so it's only £10 to join for the team, and that money will go directly to, it's going to be shared between the Mayor's charity and the President of the Rotary Club's charity, all local charities, so within the area and the town, so yeah, for great causes.
We're still looking for teams of 4. Anybody over the age of 16 can take part. You can get the registration forms from the town clerk. So a team of 4 over the age of 16. If you want to get dressed up and be in fancy dress, even better. And just come along and have a bit of fun. So any sports teams or just a group of individuals that want to make a team of 4. It's going to be an amazing amount of fun. Really looking forward to it, and hoping people get involved in dressing up and make it more of a fun afternoon as well.
Artists in Grimsby now have a home for their work. Set up by local artists Terry Clark and Dale Mackey, New Street Studios aims to act as both a workshop for the 2 artists and a hub for Grimsby's other artists. Fred McNamara paints a colourful picture of the studio with this report.
Grimsby's New Street Studios has a long and arduous story. Forced from moving from Abbey Walk Gallery to above a corner shop, artists Terry and Dale have now found a home at Grimsby's Carer Support Service. The idea behind New Street Studios is to give Grimsby's art scene a hub to flourish in.
So my niece got in touch with me, who works for the Carer Support, and she said, we've got some rooms available in New Street, just by the side of us. So I went with her to have a look, had a word with the manager, and said, where do you want me to sign? You know, because it was fantastic space, you know, the studio space and the gallery space, it was just fantastic. So we're in a good space at the moment, and we've been here since a year last September.
My history of going to the art school in 2010, doing a degree, graduating in 2013. What you see around you is mostly that's happened since 2013, since I went to the art school and Abbey Walk Gallery. A lot of this has developed from that period. All this around you is a kind of an eclectic mix of all kinds of thoughts and feelings and inspiration and technique going on to develop my practice, you might say. I've always been an artist in a small way, but never developed enough, missed opportunities, and then doing my degree really did what I wanted to do. 50 years in the making, you might say.
It's a good art scene, is Grimsby. It's a good foundation course for any young artist, but they've lost a degree course now, and it's so many artists that want to show the work,
but there's nowhere to show it, nowhere public to show it really. The library's shut. There's only the Heritage Centre which shows now and again, but you've got a 2 or 3 year waiting list to get on there. Cleethorpes has got 1 or 2 spaces, but Grimsby, it's dead at the moment with Abbey Walk closing. It's for the art scene itself to show, for the young artists to show work. It's just there's nowhere to go. You know.
And as I said, I'm hoping to get some of the students down from the College of Fine Art who specialise in fine art to come and visit us down here and have a workshop, say a day, or talk, whatever, just to help them and see an actual studio in operation.
Well, we've got a Facebook site, New Street Studios Facebook site. I've got my own Facebook site, and I've got a website, dalemackey.com. But if they just ring us up or come to the carers reception, and if we're in, and we can have a chat with them, and it just gives a lot of the artists, as soon as they walk in here, they go, wow, it's inspiration. That's what it gives a lot of people, artists have just started out, and the students, it just gives them a bit of inspiration.
Secure in their new premises and armed with several exhibitions taking place throughout February, April and beyond, Terry and Dale's mission in supporting Grimsby's artists can move forward. From McNamara, Estuary News.
Welcome back, you're watching Estuary News. Still to come tonight, Jack brings us a roundup of all the latest sports action, and Sandra Simmons tells me about reading champions in North Lincolnshire. A petition has gathered more than 1,000 signatures in protest over changes to theatre ticket prices. The Plowright Theatre and the Baths Hall in Scunthorpe have introduced a £1 booking fee on all tickets paid by card and cash. Management says a change in the law means people will be charged the fee regardless of how the tickets are purchased. Time's running out for people to nominate someone who made a difference to women in society. The Suffrage Pioneers project is organised by the Women's Local Government Society. It aims to identify and celebrate the lives of 100 previously hidden women and supportive men who were active in the campaign for votes leading to the Representation of the People Act in 1918. The project will include men and women from all walks of life and from all corners of the country. The deadline is tomorrow, ahead of the final list being published on the 6th of February. Nominations can be made still at www.suffrage-pioneers.net. There's a new song school in Lincoln. The facility in Minster Yard will be used by Lincoln Cathedral's music department, including the cathedral choir. A recent investment of £150,000 has allowed new facilities where the choir can rehearse. Reading champions are helping to support reading development in primary schools across North Lincolnshire. I'm joined now by Sandra Simmons, Head of Participation and Achievement at North Lincolnshire Council, to tell me more about the scheme. Sandra, welcome. Thank you very much for coming in. Wonderful title you've got there.
Isn't it?
I'd like to be Head of Achievement.
It's brilliant because actually with the Reading Champions, it actually links in with the museums and the theatre, arts and libraries. So it's a really good link.
Now, who are these Reading Champions?
Right, the Reading Champions are from Phillips 66. They have been trained in partnership with North Lincolnshire Council.
Let's just clarify, who's Phillips 66?
Phillips 66 are a logistics and refinery company on the Humber Estuary. They're actually linked to the international company in America. They've got a history going back 130 years, but a huge commitment to their communities that they work and work within.
So they're responsible for those big plants and refineries on the south bank of the Humber.
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted.
No. And so part of their community work was to work with us as part of the Literacy Trust in North Lincolnshire to look at how they could take their workforce to support reading and education and language and that love of reading in our primary schools.
Now, would you like, it's good of Phillips 66 to provide their workforce, as it were. Would you like other people to get involved as well?
I would be delighted. They are the leading light, so we'd love people to charge on after them, please.
And if they wanted to get in touch, how do they get in touch?
They can contact me, Sandra.Simmons at North Lincolnshire, or they can go onto our Children's Literacy Trust site, which is childrensliteracytrust.gov.uk.
OK, excellent. Reading Champions, sounds fantastic. What do they do?
They actually go into schools, they give up their time to work in the primary schools, they spend about 30 minutes one-to-one with children, usually about 8 years old onwards. They talk about the things that interest the children with their reading, they share the books, they talk about what they do with books and their careers and how that's helped them. They play some games such as banana type games and matching, top trumps, but just that love and passion for reading and sharing language.
And of course, one of the nice things about reading a book is if it's a book that you love, a book you enjoy, is talking about it afterwards, I suppose.
Absolutely. And understanding the language and the connotations with the language and looking at that comprehension as well. And that helps with writing as well.
I have to ask, we do have a compulsory and publicly funded education system in this country. Why is it necessary?
I think it enhances what the schools do in terms of the technicality and the actual education of the reading. But what is really key to academic success is that love and passion for reading and sharing of books and extending out.
It is habit forming, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yes, yes.
And it's not just a matter of, you said, how the reading has helped people from this oil company, help them in their career. I would imagine it's tough to be an engineer if you can't read the manual, but that's not important. What's important is reading for pleasure, isn't it?
It is, because it takes you into other worlds. Where would you go without Doctor Who and a TARDIS? It's just taking you out of your own worlds, really.
Other forms of science fiction are available.
Absolutely, yes.
What are people of that age? You said sort of 8-year-olds, that sort of thing. What are they reading? I can't remember what I was reading when I was 8.
Some of the traditional books. Roald Dahl is always very, very popular.
Brilliant man.
David Walliams, you've got Michael Monpergo, Jackie Wilkinson, who does the Tracy Beaker, and we work with her illustrator, with Nick Sharratt. So again, just a range of. A lot of children quite like graphic books.
Fair enough. You mustn't say comics.
No. Mustn't say comics. But it's all the different types. We follow children's interest because that will lead them on to look for others. And I think with Reading Champions, they'll share their ideas. Might say, if you really like that book, what about trying this author? And just exploring the world of books and libraries.
What about maybe the more old-fashioned children's writers who I remember? Maybe the Eden Blyton and the Famous Five, or Richmond Crompton and Just William, or
they do. Children
Swallows and
enjoy
Amazons.
Those stories as well. A lot of children quite like Tom's Midnight Garden, which is quite a classic. That comes back from the 80s. Michael Foreman, some of the stories around there, just go for those.
We mustn't nostalgia. There's a connection here with Dolly Parton.
There is, yes. Dolly Parton. North Lincolnshire Council fund with the Dolly Parton Trust the Imagination Library. So every child in North Lincolnshire, once they're born, can sign up for the Dolly Parton Trust, and every month they receive a book through the post, very age appropriate, so a wonderful range of books. So by the time they are 5, they'll have a collection of 60.
That's absolutely fantastic. Everybody in North Lincolnshire has been given a book by Dolly Parton.
Absolutely.
Sandra, thank you very much for coming in.
You.
Here's Jack with all the sports.
We'll start with football, and Hull City will be hoping to transfer their FA Cup form into the league tonight as they prepare for a big Yorkshire derby. The Tigers host Leeds United at the KCOM Stadium, fresh on the back of the 2-1 fourth round win over Nottingham Forest on Saturday. City have impressed in the Cup this season, which is a total contrast to their league form. Hull have failed to win in any of their last 7 championship matches, and they are only outside the relegation zone on goal difference. The club are yet to make a new signing during the January transfer window and have been knocked back with 2 separate bids for Aberdeen defender Scott McKenna. Head coach Nigel Adkins was asked about the club's transfer strategy going forwards.
I've been in a short space of time. You need to have a long view as well. So you've got the short-term view, but you've got to have the long-term view. So we've got the summer window, we've got the January window, the next one. Summer window is a big window. So trying to get that right, and then it's how we want to go and be as a football club, the evolution, and where's the pathway for the youngsters to come through the system. So but that takes time, and I think if you've got stability at a football club, you've got more chance of getting that right instead of just being ad hoc and just collecting a lot of players that maybe don't fit into what you actually want to try and achieve.
And last night the Tigers found out exactly who they'll be playing in the next round of the FA Cup. They'll make the trip to Stamford Bridge to face Premier League giants Chelsea. It's a difficult draw for City as their 5th round opponents were runners-up in last season's competition. The date for the fixture is yet to be confirmed, but all ties will take place across the weekend of the 17th to the 18th of February. Meanwhile, with the transfer window closing tomorrow, Scunthorpe United have announced a departure from the club. Dutch striker Kevin van Veen has left to join fellow League One side Northampton Town for an undisclosed fee. The 26-year-old scored 23 goals in 116 appearances for the Iron after joining the club exactly 3 years ago today from Dutch second division side FC Os. Van Veen didn't feature much for Scunthorpe during the campaign this time round, but has notched 6 goals in his last 11 games. Grimsby Town are in League 2 action tonight. The Mariners travel to Somerset to take on Yeovil Town, side that lost 4-0 at home to Manchester United in the FA Cup last Friday. Grimsby won 2-1 when the two sides last met back in September, but Town are struggling at the moment. They're without a win in 9 league games, and manager Russell Slade was asked if he was concerned with their position in the table.
Not really. I think it's just about you go and get 2 back-to-back wins, and you know you're looking up and thinking, you know, if you can continue that, then maybe you know that might take you to where you need to be. But that doesn't concern me. I think we've got enough about us to progress up the table, and that's what we want to do.
And finally, in Rugby League, a number of our local sides are through to the second round of the Challenge Cup. The big story is that Hull University are through to that stage for the first time ever after beating Hensingham 24-10. They're the first uni side to reach round 2 since Leeds Metropolitan University did so in 2010. Elsewhere, West Hull beat Longhorns 58-10 and Myton Warriors won 22-18 against Lee Miners Rangers, while Skirler Bulls lost 34-14 to Featherstone Lions. That's all for today's sport. Back to Hugh in the studio.
Thanks very much, Jack. That's it for tonight. If you have a news story, then please visit our Facebook or Twitter pages. Details appearing beneath me here. Email estuary.tv or phone Grimsby 01472315553 or write to us at Estuary TV, Nuns Corner, Laceby Road, Grimsby, North East Lincolnshire, DN 34 5BQ. Until tomorrow, from all of us here, good evening.